Hi everyone, it's Kiva Marie from Seafoam Lavender, and it's an absolutely gorgeous mid-July morning. I just wanted to show you what's in bloom here on the farm so that you'll have an idea of what's going on in our gardens at the moment. So let's get started on our July 2021 Seafoam Lavender Garden Tour. So here in the front beds by the house, we've got lots in bloom. You'll notice compared to our last garden tour in May, everything's just really come to life. I planted some sunflowers there in front of the lattice, and I'm really looking forward to having those. And I've also got some morning glories climbing up both the sunflowers and the lattice behind them. And there's just so much in bloom. There's so much pink over here. Oh my goodness. So there's a sempervivum in bloom. This is a succulent. And these plants actually die after they bloom, but the bloom is just really pretty anyway. This is some creeping thyme and fan flowers. The fan flowers have been blooming since May, and they'll continue to bloom for the rest of the summer. And here are the morning glories that are growing up the lattice. I just wanted to point out, this is a plant that I've been asked about a lot in the last couple weeks. This is a Colorado blue columbine, Aquilegia cerulea, and it's just got this beautiful, delicate shooting star type flower. The corkscrew hazel looks amazing. It's got a lot of new growth, so I'm really pleased about that. This is by far my favorite plant on the property. And over here, the little garden by our little rock river is doing great. There's lots in bloom over here. We have some lovely red begonias, and they're just really dainty and lovely. The hostas are just starting to bloom. And the surprise star this year are our lilies. So they've just had a banner year. They're looking really, really fantastic this year. I have no idea why. We haven't done anything in particular for them, but I guess the conditions are just right for them this year. So really enjoying having these beautiful lilies right now. Then over here, this is the pumpkin patch. So it didn't look like very much back in May, but as you can see now, the pumpkins are growing in. They've had kind of a rough spring with cucumber beetles, but they're finally starting to vine, and I think we've got the cucumber beetles in hand. And the new growth that's coming is looking really healthy, so I think we're going to be okay. Over here in the wedding garden, everything's just phenomenally in bloom. There is so much to see in this garden. It's absolutely amazing. We had a couple of kind of terrible, cold, wet, windy days, and so the bee balm here in the center got pretty beat up, but it still has some really nice color, so it's still really nice from a distance. Just up close, you can see the flowers are a bit battered. The swamp milkweed, this is our native host plant for the monarch butterfly, is doing great. It did get knocked over in the rain the other day, but it seems to have bounced back. And we have beautiful red geraniums. The hydrangea is starting to bloom. And we've got Joe Pieweed buds forming, which is really exciting. This is my first year to grow this plant, so very excited to have that in the garden. We've got mint in bloom and some little snapdragons, which are just such a fun plant. We have a little sea of cosmos mixed in with the astilbe, which is the kind of fluffy flower you can see there. And my borage is just starting to bloom. This is a pale pink variety of lavender called Melissa, and it's got the most incredible sweet fragrance. Nice to have that in the garden. Okay, so over here we're in the butterfly garden now, and you can see I still have lots of swamp milkweed over here, and also this giant pink purple malva, which is a mallow plant, and the blooms are starting to fade on that, but it's been really lovely. I've got coneflowers just coming up in bloom, orange and pink. And the coneflowers are just an absolutely phenomenal plant for pollinators. They are native to Canada, although not to Nova Scotia, but they're a great addition to any garden. I just wanted to point out this is a white cultivar of the swamp milkweed. This is called Ice Ballet, is the name of this cultivar, and it's really pretty. I have these beautiful little double Rudbeckias. This is a brown-eyed Susan, and I don't actually know the name of this cultivar, but to me they look like little teddy bears. Over here in the shrub garden, we have Rudbeckia and Shasta daisies in bloom. The red plant at the back is a Maltese cross, and we have hydrangeas. And back behind the shrub garden is our brand new addition of a greenhouse. So this was built for us by Sun Valley Greenhouses, a Nova Scotia company. So you should definitely check them out if you're thinking about having a greenhouse built. And my tomatoes are absolutely loving life in this greenhouse. I have fruit already on these beefsteak tomatoes. This was an extra special edition that we asked for the greenhouse. These are self-opening windows. So the wax piston, as it melts, it expands and it pushes the window open. And then when it cools off, it pulls the window closed. So we're super excited to have a greenhouse. Okay, so these are our baby rows for new lavender plants up at the top of the hill. I think last time I was showing you the soil and how heavy clay it is. We've been tilling bark mulch into it before we planted these plants, and it's really dry today, but it has really loosened up. So these big bark pieces will just really help improve drainage for the lavender babies. Oop, and also for a weed. So we can't wait to see how these grow. And on the grown-up side of the lavender field, you can see everything is just absolutely spectacular this year. The lavender is in full bloom right now. And it's just this really peaceful, stunning, bright purple display. You can just hear the entire field just buzzing with pollinators. It's absolutely incredible how many bees and hoverflies and butterflies and probably all kinds of other amazing things that I don't even know about are just really loving life out here in this field. And so are we. So it's just really wonderful and peaceful up here. So if, like our little bee visitor here, you would like to come and see the lavender farm, I would definitely invite you to come at this time of year. We're located on the North Shore of Nova Scotia, and we are open every afternoon in the summertime. We're just open seasonally. The best time to see our lavender is right now, mid to late July, because that's when everything's in full bloom. But I hope you'll see through this series of garden tours that we have so many other plants and beautiful things in bloom to see. So we hope that you'll come and see us at any time of year that you are able to come and get to the North Shore. So thank you so much for joining me on this little July garden tour, and we hope to see you out at the farm.